And now, from Glasgow.
So, welcome to stage 4 of the Build Your ET, the Extraterrestrial. Today we are doing what they have titled the eye and face assemblies. Now, I have cut the ends off this pack, so let's have a look. I do like to cut things open before I start filming because the noises it makes. So we have got part 401, the eyelid structure, and these are in here very well. Now this is good quality. Oh, that's really nice. It's got some detail on it. I like that. See, I felt this bit and I thought it's a little bit rough. I don't know if that's because it's been painted. It could well be a painted piece of plastic, but yeah, that's nice. Now if you're a bit of a detail buff, you might want to put a little wash in there and just to pick that detail out. That's ever so simple to do. Maybe get something like a burnt sienna oil paint, or you could get maybe one of these. I actually just happened to have got this recently. I don't know how this will react with this, but if you got an oil paint and just really thinned it down, gave that a little bit of a wash, and then leave it for about 10-15 minutes when it's starting to dry, and then just get yourself a cotton bud and give that a little bit of a wipe to try and remove all of the wash from the upper surfaces. Just leave the darker in the lower recesses and you will get something a little bit more similar to this, if that's the route you want to go down to. I don't think I'm going to bother. I'll see what it looks like, but I don't think it's going to need it. But I know some of you really love your detail. So this is the eyelid support, and really nothing to see at this point other than it's some kind of structure. I guess it's going to meet up with, oh there we go, so it's going to go in like that. So it's adding to this. That's actually nice, and of course by doing that it gives us a bit of a size of what idea of what the size of the head is going to be like. And I can't get this off. There we go. Don't jump ahead of the gun, Penny. Right, so piece 403 is missing the rear head frame. Oh, sorry guys, this is 402. This is the eyelid support, and this is the rear head frame. So I do apologise, I got those in the wrong order. Obviously when you see things on the thing, well actually I could have looked. If I'd looked I'd know. Right, so we have got piece 405 and 404. These are the left and the right spring holders. At this point I think this is 404 and this is 5. So I'm going to take those out and leave them like that. And then we've got 406, which is the spring bracket. I wonder if that's got something to do with this. Somewhere in there. I don't know. We'll have a look. And then we have got just a one kind of screw. Sorry, 407, and we have a pitch invasion. So 407 is the eye spring. So that's this. That's quite a nice little spring actually. It's quite easy. Hello, are you just desperate for love, are you? Are you desperate for love? Oh, now that I'm filming, are you coming onto the camera and going, I've never been loved in my life, you never loved me, and I'm going to show the world how horrible you are, because you know you're one of the best looked after cats in the world, aren't you? Right, tell you what, let's pop you on the floor. There you go, my lovely. Sorry about that. I do have a policy of when cats want to be friendly, straight away, look, Come on. But yeah, I don't really like shooing the cats away, especially when I spend so much of my time away from home. You know, I don't get to see them. So yeah, so we've got the spring there, and that's quite a nice spring. It's got a nice return. It's not too strong, but as I say, I'm trying to be really technical about screw now. And really, I'll be honest with you, I haven't got a clue about springs. What's a good? It could be a terrible spring for all I know. So the last thing is we have got, excuse me 1 second. Sorry, I've just sneezed. Right, so we have got 10 PTP screws. Now, in the last issue, they gave us two different types of screw, and they didn't give us any spares. Now, I don't make a habit of losing screws. I tend to be pretty good with screws. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Now, I do occasionally lose screws, and I think if we all were being 100% honest, I think we can all say we've lost screws. So it's a little bit negative they haven't given us spares. But then on the other hand, if you're not one of these who lose screws very often, look how many spares you've got. So do they need to give us a screw? I don't know. That's a debate subject, isn't it? You know, if I lost a screw, I mean, it'd be nice if they gave us the dimensions of these. Because if I lose a screw and it's my fault, and I contact Fanhome to say I've lost a screw, could you send some more? Could they fairly charge me for it? So at least if I knew the sizes of these screws, I could go out and buy some. Anywho, so we have got stage 1, and we need to take the assembly from the previous issue. And what we need to do is take 405 and 404, which is the left and right spring holder. Now, these are going over there. There's a couple of little pegs there. Now, bear with me while I work out that this is 405 and this is 404. 404 wants to go there, or does it want to go there? And I think it's going to go. This is quite interesting. So what I think is going to happen, see, I can't figure this out. Right, so this bar 406 is going to go over there, and look at that, the fit on that is perfect. It's almost as though it was meant to fit. There is a little lip there where the holders go straight down. Now, I'm double checking. I do believe these are absolutely correct, because obviously I don't know what the future stages are. I don't actually know if this is you know, how it's going to build up. But let's follow the instructions. I'm still happy with the screwdriver that they've given us, and we want to screw this piece down. So this piece there isn't going to move, but it's going to act as a pivot. So we'll pop one screw in there. As always, we'll just pop it in enough just to hold, and then we'll pop the second one in. I actually quite like these screws. I said in the last issue, they feel like those screws that your granddad's had in his shed for 50 years. You know, they get all rusty and that, and they feel like they're rusty screws, but they're not rusty screws. I don't know if that's a very good way to describe it. They've got kind of this matte finish on them. Right, so they're not too tight because those pieces still move, and those screws aren't going to go in any further unless I exert an awful lot of force on them. So maybe this is the perfect screwdriver, because the amount of torque that you need to get on that in order to break it, I don't think I could physically do with the way that if I had a big chunky screwdriver, I could get a lot more force on it. But how strong I am as a person with the size of this, I can get enough to turn the screw, but I can't really hard. If I'm going to break that, well, on my pieces, if I'm going to break that, I've probably done it on purpose. Right, so the next piece we need to get is the spring. Now, I don't know if this makes a difference, but I've got the spring downwards. You'll see that it comes round and it looks like it's downwards a little bit. And what I'm going to do, on these pieces we've just put in, we've got a little hook. We're going to hook that one over there, and then we're going to take the other side and we're going to hook that. Now what that's going to do is these two pieces are now going to want to come in. So look, if I pull them out and I let go, they're going to want to naturally fall in the middle. So as these eyes move, I can see what they're doing. That's actually really clever. So it's a return for the eyes. So look, as you pull the eyes, you see it just pulls the eyes back. If you pull it this way, they're going to want, it's going to force the eyes to that. This one's a little bit stiff. Whether it's to do with that or this, I don't know. I'm going to just try and unscrew this just about 1/8 of a turn. Yeah, that's still a bit stiff, isn't it? But they return. So obviously, like, you have a spring mechanism, it allows things to reset. But because you've got a set of eyes, there is, you know, the natural reset point isn't there, and it isn't there. It needs to pull it into the middle. So obviously, as you move the eyes one way, you're pulling a spring against the other side. So it wants to come back. By pulling it the other side, it's putting the stress on the other side, and then it comes back. That's actually quite clever. So yeah, I'm happy with that. Right, so the last thing we want to do then is, it's not the last thing, it's stage 2, sorry. We need to take the eyelid structure, and that goes on the front. So this little piece that, it's definitely plastic, but I can't decide if it's been painted. That's going on. You see you've got 2 holes, you've got 2 pegs there. This is what I described in the previous issue as kind of a hook. So that's going on like that, and that's not secured at the moment. So that's going to flop about. That is looking sad now, isn't it? Isn't that interesting? That looks creepy. That, I think, looks a little bit sad and tired. Oh, I'm away from home and I'm just desperate to get home and see my family. That's kind of that look, but that. Oh, is that meant to move? Oh, is that supposed to move then? Because it looks like he's blinking now, doesn't it? Anyway, sorry, I'm kind of speculating, aren't I? Right, so right, this is what's going to secure this in place. We need to take piece 402, and it looks like we need these, what I'm going to say is screw holes. They're pointing forwards. You've got a couple of pegs there which are pointing upwards, and this is going, so there we've got a couple of holes, and whoops, so let's pop that onto there, and that's going to secure this eyelid structure in place. And then we've got a couple of what do you call those, channels there, but you can see underneath there's a screw hole, and that's obviously going to act as a hinge for these eyelids. I like that. This is so well thought out. So that needs to go in place with 2 screws, one in there, one in there, and that's going to go in there like so. And same situation as before, the screws are going in well, but suddenly they stop. For me to overscrew, and this is a personal thing, if anyone should break theirs, I'm not saying you've done something wrong, but for me personally, it feels like in order to break it, I've had to do it on purpose, unless obviously I get a faulty part. But yeah, that's all in there. I'm checking it, everything's fine. Do you know what? Can you see why I didn't cancel this? You know, I hadn't built it, but I could see it was going to be a good build. I like that. I do like that. Right, so we have got just a one piece left. Well, we've got a couple of stages, but we've got one piece left. Now, as we've already established, you'll see two channels there and a little bit of a gap on either side. And you'll see some screw holes, and you can see some screw holes there. And then this is going to interlock. A little bit tricky to find, but once it's in, you've found it. Now it naturally pushes down almost connected. Just, do you know what? There we go. And just push it the rest of the way. And then what we're going to do is from below, we've got these 4 screw holes, and we're just going to screw 4 screws in. And again, I don't think they needed to put 4 in. One thing I often say about partworks is they'll do far more screws than is absolutely necessary. You know, they could cut costs and just give us maybe 2 screws would secure that. But it's like they've wanted to give us extra screws. They want to give us 4 because if it's going to hold the 2, it's definitely going to hold solid with 4. And this is not going to go anywhere. And my arm is aching from this screwing because I'm not a physical person, so all this screwing, it's not the worst stage I've done for screwing. I think the worst stage I've ever done for screwing was an issue of Ecto 1, and I think it was the back of the seats, and I put loads and loads of screws in. My arm was aching, and then I realised I'd put the screws in wrong, and I had to take them all out again and put them back in again. So that was a painful day. Right, so we have got one last piece to do, and that is to put the frame structure in from issue 2, I believe, which is this piece. And that is going to go in. So we've got these 2 holes that we guessed were screw holes. They are definitely screw holes. So we'll find out if we put this together properly. So we'll line those screw holes up like so. Mine do not want to go. There we go. That is really nice. Okay, that is as far as it'll go. So I'm trying to push, you see the length of that peg? So I'm trying to push that all the way in, but as you can see, it's only a shallow little hole. So it's literally going to rest on top. And then I think the easiest way to do this might be to pop our screws into those holes like so, poke the screws through like so, and then we can line the screw holes up, and then the screws will naturally meet. And then I'll just give that a couple of screws just to connect, and then I can line this second one up. Like so. Like so. Come on. Right, so you'll see the screws are connected. Now I can push that in properly, and then I can screw the rest of the screws in. Now, the problem I've got here is supporting the piece as I screw the screws in. Now I'm getting away with resting the back of this on the table. Obviously it's not helped by having to do this on camera. It's much easier to build everything off camera. I'm not sort of going I'm a hero, but obviously it does. I want to do the angle so that you can see what I'm doing. Right, so I'm having to screw just a little bit more carefully here, but that is going in really nicely. So that is absolutely brilliant. So there is the eyelid structure, and that is the end of the stage. So E.T., what do you think of this? 1 blink for no, 2 blinks for yes. That's my verdict of this stage. I think this is really, really good. Let's check that. Look, if I push the eyes that way, you can see how well they return. when I push it that way, it's a bit of a slow return. Now I do know that there's going to be a servo, so I think this will be servo assisted, so I don't think I'm going to have too much issues with this, but I'm just wondering where I think it's in this area somewhere that it's slowed down. Let's do it from upside downwards, that way will help catch. Yeah, it's not returning that way too, but it's okay. I think it'll be absolutely fine. But I am really happy with that. Obviously that eyelid isn't going to come that far down. I think there might be a bottom lid. But that is looking less creepy now, isn't it? So I've got to do this, guys, because I did place this in the face on last time, but I'm really happy. This is stage 4, guys. The only thing I'm not happy, and this is me being very, very picky, there isn't a colour match with the eyelids, but it has eyelids. So I can't really complain, can I, guys? So tell me your thoughts, guys. I am really happy. This is stage 4. Sorry, this is issue 4. Stage 2. And we've already got a really nice build already. So yeah, very, very happy with that. Right, guys, I'm going to take this off because we do have a stage 5 coming, which will be coming in 2 weeks. So as always, thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you later. Take care, guys. Bye bye.